Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jason. I'm a full-time reseller, and today we are going to do the Sunday sales update. I'm going to go through what sold this week to give you guys a good idea of what's selling right now and go over the numbers and see if we're trending towards our goal. So total sales this week was $2,225. This is on eBay. That left us with a net sales of $1,316.34. Quantity sold was 70 items, which is great, but you can see why we are down from last week because our average sales price is at $31.79. So that is down a bit, but still a good week. Poshmark did pick it up and carry some of the weight this week. I had over $600 in net on Poshmark, which I think is my biggest week to date on Poshmark. So that's exciting. That's excellent. We are close. We didn't quite hit the mark. I think we're just over 1,900 in net between the two. So very close. If you haven't been following, my goal has been to get to 2,000 in net sales consistently by the holidays. So we've got almost a couple months to keep trending upwards, hopefully, to get there. So let's go ahead and go through. I'm going to go through all the sales. We'll go kind of from least to best. I do exclude all of the lower tier items. A lot of that stuff is stuff that I would not pick up anymore anyways. It's nice when it sells because a lot of that stuff I got for $1. So it's, $10 to $12 in profit on them, but it's stuff that sits for a while, so I don't include that. I just do kind of the 10 best on Poshmark and the 10 best on eBay. So starting off, we have a pair of American Eagle. This is the lowest. This is $25. I wanted to show these though because I picked these up in my last video and they sold within a week. I think it was actually within a few days. So this is the high-rise artist flare. You can see the flare legs there. So with American Eagle, with women's jeans, you want to look out for the flare cuts, the boot cuts, the kick boot especially, or the artist flare, or the ultra baggy wide leg. So those are the best ones to find. If you see the ultra baggy wide legs out there, those ones will go for like $30 to $40, sometimes more if they're vintage. But yeah, so there's definitely some good American Eagle stuff out there in the women's jeans. I know a lot of it gets passed up because I have a lot of resellers in my area and I watch them walk through the same racks that I walk through and not pick these things up. These ones don't get a huge premium, so like these and the kick boot, they go for like $25 to $30, but I get them for $5 to $7, and they typically sell within 30 days. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Next up, we've got this cool vest. Didn't sell for as much as I thought it was going to. I had the cool Interceptor just like this, but the soft shell version, not the fleece, and that sold for $55. So the fleece is not as sought after. But it still went for $30. I think I picked this up for either $4.99 or $5.99. So definitely a good deal, good flip. It sat for a little while, I think like 2 months, but not a bad find there. Next up, we've got Buckle, the BKE Nolans. I just got these a week or two ago. These things sell fast. Nolan is a great cut. They'll sell for like $35 to $40. I got an offer. I think I had them listed at $40. I got an offer for $34, and I took it. So those went quick. Next up is this vintage. It's a Y2K, so it's not like super vintage Slayer. You can see there's pretty bad cracking on the design. It's Port & Company, so if you see Port & Company, it's probably going to be 2000s or newer, but still decent. I got $39.49 for it. It had sat for probably about 2 months, maybe 3 months, so it sat for a while, but I picked this up for I think $3.99, so not a bad flip. Next up are these True Religion jeans, and this was in like 2 videos ago, a haul video I showed these, and I'm surprised they sold so quickly. I got $39.49 for them. Yeah, these were a great find, I guess. I wasn't sure. I know True Religion's kind of died out. These are the baggy loose fit, which is good. I'm sure that helps them, but the olive green I wasn't sure about. They did have the horseshoe pockets, which people do like. So they went quick. I mean, these sold within a week, and yeah, definitely great. I got them for $5.99, I believe, and they sold for $40. So great find there. Here are the Peter Millar, the EB66 golf pants. Yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. They're nice. Peter Millar stuff is usually pretty good. Especially with the pants. The pants sell through well. I had these for maybe 3 weeks and they sold, so definitely a great find. $39. I think I paid $7.99 for them, so definitely a good flip there. Next up is the cool resistor chinos. I got $39.99 for these. Cool. If you're not familiar, get familiar. There's so many different styles. I was looking through a subreddit the other day that's just dedicated to the different styles of cool clothing, and they have like a manifesto in there, and it's like, I don't even know, probably 10,000 words. It's pages and pages and pages, and it goes through every style, every cut. There's so many different variations on each style of pant. It's hard to get to know all of it, but which you really don't have to, because I feel like if you find cool pants out there for a reasonable price, just grab them. They're probably worth at least $25-$30, and some of them, all the way up to like $50-$60. Here is a vintage Legend of Zelda. This was a Twilight Princess shirt. I got this shirt for $3.99 at a Goodwill. This is like Y2K vintage, not super old, but the comps looked good on it, so I picked it up, and it sold fairly quick, I think in about a month, for $39.49. Next up, we've got this Brooks Brothers vintage all cotton. Let's see if we can see this better. Yeah, so vintage all cotton. This was, I believe, made in USA. I don't know if I included that in the tag, but this thing I got an offer for $40, like, immediately. I listed it, and within a minute somebody gave me an offer for $40, so I feel like I got sniped on this. But I don't know how much more room there is for Brooks Brothers. Are some of these button-ups worth hundreds of dollars or $100? I mean, maybe somebody got it for their vintage store and really liked it, or maybe somebody just really likes the all cotton variant of the Brooks Brothers shirts. I don't know. I mean, if you're a Brooks Brothers expert, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know more about it, because at this store there were about 10 of them, and I'm headed back to that area next week, and I don't think they'll sell between now and then. I mean, I could be wrong, they might, but they were $6.99 each, so I saw it, I knew it was vintage, and I was like, okay, I'll just get one, kind of take a chance on it. $6.99 on kind of a plain check plaid. Brooks Brothers seemed like a little bit of a gamble, but it sold within minutes, so yeah, please, if you know anything more about these, let me know, and I'll go back and get the rest of them. Next up, we've got these Ariats, brand new with tags jeans. This was a return. I sold them originally for $47.99, and they came back to me, and I had accidentally did a sell similar, and I didn't change the size in the sell similar. So I put up the size here, and that was in the listing. The previous listing was listed as 34L, and I didn't change that, even though if you look at the pictures, you can see it's 29L. No big deal. I mean, she even left me a positive review still, which was cool. These are the rebar, but yeah, brand new with tags. I paid $12.99 for these. I had these for a while. I was happy that they sold, because they sat for like 3 months, and then they sold on eBay, and then they got returned. And then as soon as I listed them on Poshmark, or relisted them on eBay and Poshmark, I got an offer like within a couple days. So I was happy to get those out again. But yeah, good sale. Ariat stuff, if you find it out there, whether it's new with tags or pre-owned, it's usually worth picking up. Definitely worth looking up. Next up, we have an American Giant hoodie, and this is the first one that I have found from them. Well, I lied. It's the second one I found. The other one I found was like identical to this, but it had a bunch of big stains here. This one has like some sun fading. I don't know if you can tell, but like up through this area and this area, and kind of in the middle too, and on the sleeves, you can see it's kind of like sun faded. I don't think they're designed like that, so I did in the listing just put fading, because it is faded, and it sold quick. I mean, this thing was listed for less than a week, and I got a $40 offer on Poshmark, and I took it. So American Giant is definitely a great brand to be on the lookout for. When I found this and did the haul video to show it, I kind of went over the details. I mean, it does not feel like a super nice luxury hoodie that you would think would get $40, $50 for. It feels like just a standard run-of-the-mill hoodie. So I'm not sure what's so special about these. People just love the brand. Because, like with a Lululemon or a Viore hoodie, like you can tell. They feel really soft, and if you wear it, they like hug you without you noticing. I don't know. They're super nice, but this one did not feel like something like that. But they sell well, so definitely grab American Giant when you see it out there. Next up is a Patagonia Los Gatos fleece Sherpa jacket. This is a women's fleece. This was in decent condition. You can see there is a little bit of flattening in the fleece here around the logo, and like up here you can see it kind of got flattened out. I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but somebody still picked it up, so hopefully that doesn't come back. I guess I should have detailed that a little bit better. It's not horrible. You can see it's like starting here, and then through here it's like flattened out, which happens with fleece. I don't know how. Maybe hits like a hot spot in the dryer and gets melted. But that sold for 45 bucks. Patagonia stuff is pretty good. You've got to be kind of picky about what models you're grabbing, what specific Patagonia stuff, but a lot of it's good. So if you see Patagonia, definitely look it up. I'm sure you guys are aware. Next up is a pair of Keen KC2. They are Oxford Dark Earth Canteen is the color apparently. But these are nice like walking shoes. They're like a leather walking shoe. This style of shoe is pretty popular right now. These went for the full price, $47.39, which was great. I got these not too long ago, probably 2 weeks ago. They sold pretty quick. I was surprised because it feels like more of a summer style shoe. But they move quick. I'm happy with it. Those are definitely something to be on the lookout for. Keen is another one that's like very hit or miss. I look up a lot of them. And with shoes, I've probably got 300 pair of shoes, somewhere between 200 and 300 pair of shoes. So I'm still kind of fresh to the shoe game. So a lot of this stuff I have to look up. You know, I've got some of the styles, some of the models of some brands down. Obviously, most Hokas you want to pick up, most OnClouds you want to pick up. But there's some Brooks that are bad, so like you still want to be picky about the Brooks. But you know, I've got some of the models down there. The Keens, obviously, Asics have some good models that you want to pick up. So the shoe game dives deep. There's a lot to learn, and I'm still learning a lot. But I feel like with last week's results, I sold a lot of shoes. So I feel like I'm getting better with it, and a lot of those are shoes that I've sourced within the last month or so. So that I feel like I continue to keep getting better for that. I guess we'll monitor as we go if my shoe game is stepping up or not, but hopefully. Next up is a pair of Judy Blue. Now this one doesn't say sold on it because this was something I had two of. I bought two of these brand new, so when I pulled up the listing, it just shows the current one that's available. But I did take an offer on these for $40. They're new with tags, tummy control straight jeans for women. I thought these would move a lot quicker than they did. These things have been sitting for probably like 4 months. I got these pretty early on in my reseller journey, but I was happy to sell a pair of them. 40 bucks. I'm happy with that. I think I paid $9.99 for them. So is it a good grab? Would I grab it again? Maybe if it was a little bit less. I don't know. I'm trying not to grab stuff that I'm going to sit on for 4 or 5 months anymore. You know, if I can get something with like a 50% or higher sell-through rate, I'll try to price just under the market, and that should do the trick to get you down to a 100% sell-through rate within 90 days. If you've got a pretty hot active item and you price just under market, you know, you'll move the needle a little bit faster. Here is, speaking of Brooks, a nice pair of Brooks running shoes. These are the GTS 22. These things were in fantastic condition, as you can see from the picture. I mean, that looks like a picture right out of their catalog. These things were just in great shape. They were like new, possibly new. I think the soles had a little bit more wear than everything else. If we can get to it. Yeah, I mean, not bad at all. The soles have a little bit of wear, but that is not much at all. These things were in great shape. They went for 55 bucks. That was, I'm happy with that. Most shoes, I'd say my average buy cost on shoes is probably $8, so that's a fantastic flip. These might have been 10, but I usually don't pay more than $10 for shoes, and a lot of times I get them for like $4 or $5 or $6. Here is one of my favorite pieces as of the last like month or so that I've picked up. This was a vintage Pendleton, like an 80s. I used ChatGPT to date the tag. So if you're ever curious on what a tag is, like what the year is, you know, use ChatGPT, take a picture of this, just the tag, or like any additional details. Country Traditionals was like a late 80s, early 90s run that they did. But you can find out a lot more details, and stuff like this really helps. Had I listed this just as a standard Pendleton knit sweater, maybe would have got like 30, 35 bucks for it. But since it was, and I found out it was a vintage 80s, it's possible it was 90s, but it's also possible that it was 80s, so I listed it as 80s. Sweater, that's why it got a higher premium. So I got $55.99 for this sweater. This was a good find. I paid $4.99 for it, so not a bad flip there. Next up are these Polo Ralph Lauren pants. They're huge. I've been sitting on these for a long time. I think I got these like 4 months ago, and they are 52B by 30. They're brand new with tags, which is awesome. The price tag on them says 125 bucks. So, for whoever found them for, their size, it's definitely a good deal. You really can't get polo jeans or pants for less than 100 bucks brand new. So I'm happy with the 67. I'm sure they were happy with the 67, especially finding the pants in their size at 52B. Definitely a good flip. If you see Polo Ralph Lauren stuff out there new with tags, definitely look it up. This stuff is worth some money. Like even more basic pieces could be worth picking up if they're new with tags. Here was a pair of vintage Y2K Ed Hardy, the girl with the panther. These are really cool for like the kids that are into the Y2K stuff. These were definitely 2000s. I think it says on the tag. Let's see. 2009. So, just barely Y2K, but I thought these were really cool, very loud, flashy design, and they sold for $80. I got an offer for 80 bucks. I think I had them listed at 100, and somebody offered me 80 bucks, and I accepted it. These have been sitting for a while as well. These probably sat for about 3 months, and we're no longer in summer, so I thought these things were going to sit until the springtime. And it's scary with stuff like this. I mean, hopefully the trend continues for a few years. I'd imagine we have some longevity with that Y2K fad, probably until the end of the 2020s. But you never know. I mean, by next spring, something new could be in, and these things could just die. These could be back to being a $10, $15 pair of shorts. You never know. So I was happy to see those go. Next up, we've got a pair of tendon jeans. So these I found at the thrift. They were $7.99. I was so excited to find them because these are handcrafted in a tiny little shop in the neighboring town from mine. The guy has windows in his shop, and he's got all of his stuff set up in the window, and he sits there and handcrafts all this stuff. And you can watch them from outside the window, which is super cool. There wasn't much of a market on eBay for them, so I was going to list them on Marketplace, but they sold quick. They sold in a couple weeks. They sold at $102.69, which I was happy with. Definitely a great flip for $7.99. These things are like $260 brand new in their shop. You can get them online. He makes salvage jeans, very high quality. He also makes belts and bags and stuff, so if you're interested in that kind of handcrafted local stuff, just look up the site Tendon. They've got some really cool stuff on there. But I was happy to see these sell. I didn't think they were going to. I thought they were going to sit for a long time, and they sold. It was actually my second best sale this week, so that was exciting. And then, or first best, I guess. It was up by 69 cents. And then I did sell this vintage Woolrich duck hunting jacket, Northern Goose Down. This was a cool jacket. It had some like discoloration here on the one pocket, but other than that, it was in really good shape. This one probably sat for a month, so not bad at all. $102 I was happy with. I think I paid $12.99 for this jacket, which seems like a really good deal for vintage Woolrich Goose Down jacket. Yeah, it was a really cool jacket. I like this piece a lot, and it sold within a reasonable time frame. I'm just glad to get it out of here before we get through the winter. I'm hoping the same will happen with the rest of my jackets that I've picked up recently. But that's it. I mean, that's the stuff that has gotten me to, 1,900 in sales over the last week, which is awesome. Again, we didn't hit the mark, but we were very close, and there's still a little bit of time to go to get there consistently. I feel like we are consistently at least getting like 1,500 to 2,000 a week in that. So I'm happy with that, with a little bit of time to go to hit the goal. If you guys did make it this far into the video, please like and subscribe. Helps me out a bunch, helps the channel grow, lets me know that you're enjoying the content. And also, if you didn't like it, let me know. The opposite. So if there's certain aspects, if you don't like this style, if you prefer something else, give me some feedback. I'd love it, because that'll help me create better content for you guys to enjoy. But anyways, it's Sunday. I hope your football team wins today, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.